Okay, everybody, I have to admit, we are starting to get into some ridiculous ranges of power. When you get to the point where when I start doing videos about characters where it's only one version of a character in the entire multiverse of DC, yeah, that's right. You know how in DC, there's like a full-blown multiverse, right? I've talked about before how the heroes reside in a three-dimensional space because their bodies aren't, able to go into the higher dimensional planes like right here, right? Okay, you know how I said earlier about when you start getting into the levels of power where there's only one of you in the multiverse, like the entire multiverse, like there's literally an infinite number of universes out there in the multiverse. Literally an infinite numbers of Superman, like a Superman probably here, probably on this earth, here, here, until infinity. You get the point. But Spectre is different. There's only one of him in the entire multiverse. When you start getting to characters like this is where you really get into the big leagues, or to the point where it starts getting hard to find matchups for the characters this powerful. Like, it's crazy, right? I know what you're thinking. If he's this overpowered, how does he even have interesting stories, right? Yeah, I thought the same thing too. But when you really dig deep into his context and lore, you really start to understand, of course, they can't have him at full power right off the gate, right? And that's where the plot and context comes in. Or else, why on earth would he have team-ups or comments with the Justice Society of America? Like, if he was just all the way at the max power from the very beginning all the way, it's like everything would be really too easy for them, right? Wouldn't it? Luckily, there's context of that I'm going to get into later. But guys, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to cover beings stronger than this guy. Like, this guy might be the mightiest being I've ever covered on my page. The CW crossover event with Crisis on Infinite Earths, like what they tried to mimic in the comic books, wasn't my favorite interpretation of Spectre, but, it was just a crossover event. That's the same guy I'm about to go over, but the comic book version, the real version. I don't want to start rambling, but man, that crossover could have been better, man. That fight with Antimatter was very anticlimactic. But yeah, I'm getting off topic. First off, I would like to say DC takes a lot of influence when it comes to biblical things in nature, when it comes to their top tier gods. Like, DC does have Norse mythology gods, Greek mythology gods, and other pantheon mythology gods, but they treat those gods, even Darkseid, they treat those gods differently than the actual biblical gods, like Lucifer Morningstar from DC. Oh my God, these people, you can kind of pretty much call these people nigh omnipotent. Like, if I'm being honest, like there's literally like two people higher than this. Like, when you get to like the Lucifer Morningstar level, like you're just like unstoppable. Even beings on this level make true self Darkseid look like a joke. Yeah, that's right, I said that. Even beings like this make true self Darkseid look like a joke. It's that bad. They do treat the biblical gods like Lucifer Morningstar as like a biblical being, like in the Bible, and in the Spear of Destiny, which has Christ's blood. They use the word Christ a lot, and they treat those gods of similarities to the biblical nature more impressive than like Zeus or something. Almost hard to believe these beings being in the same multiverse as Superman. It's like, wow, these guys exist in the same multiverse with Superman. But without enough rambling, I hope you guys got like a little nice overview. I'm gonna get right into Spectre, this overpowered guy. Get your popcorn and get ready. The battle community, likes to give two names for Spectre. They call it bound, aka limited by the human host, and not really its full power of the actual demon/angel's power that's possessing the person, like the true Spectre. Then you have unbound, which is supposed to be his full level, full power, angelic demon nature, which, people like to distinguish between those two because there's a vast power increase when it comes to feats, even though the one they call bound is still ridiculously powerful regardless, right? So, before time itself, the rebellious angel known as Azatar, a being that fought alongside Lucifer Morningstar, the actual devil, right? Like the Bible, fought alongside Lucifer Morningstar, and of course got defeated when they tried to overthrow God, of course. Repented for his sin, as supposedly quote-unquote punishment, he was turned into the embodiment of God's vengeance. So one could say, is that punishment, or is that just like, congratulations for being, reborn? After this dark being known as Eclipso, one of God's aspects that kind of went rogue, Azatar, Spectre began his dark work, right? Through the millennia, it lasted for millennia, until the death and birth of Christ. Yeah, there's a lot of similarities to the Bible. These events actually made the presence rewrite the rules to where his aspects would have to appear in human hosts to manifest themselves on earthly planes. A good rule so they can't just go rogue whenever they feel like it, right? Humans can kind of, give them some type of humanization. Sometimes humanization can be good, I guess, right? Makes perfect sense, right? Yeah, that's Michael, the Archangel. Yeah, he's involved with super crazy high tier, nigh omnipotent beings, like these ridiculously powered up angels like Michael, yeah. Just in case you were curious. This caused the Spectre to pass from host to host throughout the centuries. Corrigan was a detective, murdered by some gangster, already know. Spirit was bound by Azatar to become the Spectre. Together they avenged the murdered dead as the Spectre. Now, this is the part where I said earlier about how the president's rewriting the rules and stuff, where he has to be in a human host. He can't really manifest himself in his truest form. So Like, it's kind of similar to Ghost Rider in Marvel, how a demon is kind of inside of a human, but he has abilities as Ghost Rider, but it's not his full, truest self. You know, it's kind of similar to that, but the Spectre is just on a whole totally another degree. Similar to how Ghost Rider has a totally different form when he's at his true self, true power. To give you an idea of that, yeah. Which would explain why would he even be in such a group such as the Justice Society of America. If he was at his full power off the gate, he wouldn't even need these guys. Let's be honest. And then I'm still not sure if he needed these guys. Even being so-called quote-unquote bound, he still was ridiculously powered up compared to everybody else. By the way, you can pause the video to read all this if you like. Example of his powers increasing throughout years. He had troubles with certain people like this, but later on can overpower him, for example. This is just one of the many examples. Just so this won't get too confusing, let me go over just a quick rundown of all of his abilities and then break him down like dissecting style. I'll go over his strength, speed, and a lot of other stuff real fast. Then I'm going to go over them in detail, right? Just to give you an idea of all his abilities. Obviously, he has super strength. Like, he can just slug it out if you felt like it, right? He can move at the speed of light. Of course, he has super level durability, being bulletproof, obviously, right? He has all forms of energy projection, obviously. Shooting antimatter. Yeah, telepathy. Yeah, that's right, Martian Manhunter. You ain't ready. Has telekinesis, right? He should. He can freeze a fire. Yeah, temperature manipulation. Size manipulation, able to shrink small enough to travel through phone lines. Reality warping, like turning a man into a skeleton. Dang, bruh. This guy literally has no low showings. My gosh. His footsteps can cause earthquakes in hell. Yeah, we're getting into the big stuff now. Let me get into some cool big stuff to wake you up. He fought this being known as Azomotus with planets. Like, yeah, they're that freaking big. Yeah, this is the type of scale he's on, fighting these people like this. Ridiculously powered up being. And if I'm not mistaken, Jim Corrigan Spectre was bound. Not in his full night omnipotent self, true self form. But yet, they are still able to fight on this scale. This dude is such on another level, man. His punch goes like light years. Like, this is freaking ridiculous. It went hundreds of billions of light years in an instant and hit the demon from the back. Like, what the heck? Bro, I love you, Flash and all, but man, he's even able to dodge attacks from Flash. Able to dodge a Flash attack when he was still trying to learn himself. Yeah, that's right. He's that powerful. There's also a durability feat. He was able to just eat a barrage of punches from Flash as well. You could just went intangible or something, but that's none of my business. Still learning. This punch would evidently, quote unquote, throw a planet off its axis. So there was this time pre-crisis Superman was flying, right? And he kind of cut him off mid-flight. Oh yeah, he kind of bullied pre-crisis Superman. I'm probably going to go back to these scans of him bullying pre-crisis Superman, changing his size and everything, just showing that he's out of his league. It's hard to believe characters like this are even in the same universe as Superman. Don't be doing my boy Superman like that. Like I said, during his weaker days, he's still able to fly to the edge of the universe. He's that freaking fast, being in the quintillions or septillions or whatever you want to call it, times faster than light speeds. He is ridiculously resistant to physical attack, as you can see here. Yeah, he's literally got his head cut off, and this is like nothing. You saw that correctly. This is where the absurdity gets ridiculous. Like, just bullying Superman. Pre-crisis Superman punches don't do nothing. A being that can hold black holes in his hands, flying massively faster than light speeds, and do all kinds of crazy stuff. You probably already know how strong Superman is. I don't even have to go through his feats. Just touching him causes a man to disintegrate. Like, he has random powers on the fly, really. You talking about making up powers on the fly. This is random. This is the time he literally got hit out of a universe, and he was like, okay. Oh, by the way, I will be using pre-crisis and post-crisis Spectre feats because he exists outside of space and time. The rules of the multiverse don't apply to him unless freaking the president himself demands it or changes it himself or makes it to where those rules apply to him. Other than that, he's got divine power to outside of space and time. It doesn't really, yeah. Superman was evidently going faster than quote-unquote infinite speeds. He didn't even move. He bounced off him like a doggone egg, completely destroying his momentum. Like, he's vastly outpowered. Oh my God, these are some high up people, man. He's fighting these beings known as the Great Evil Beast. While he was fighting this being like Zor, I've shown this dude a few times already. He actually became big enough to dwarf planets. Yeah, you can see his size changing here. It was like they were smaller than mountains. Then the next hit, they was bigger than mountains, right? And then the next hit, they was bigger than planets. Yeah, as you can see, he could get so big to where his eyes are 23 light years across. Like, how the freak you get this big, yo? Can literally become as large as the universe. Like, how though? Has mattered and manipulations to the point where, of course, he can phase through stuff and he can create a supernova in his hand. Like, you see these planets? Like, he's just making these things look small. So he literally drags somebody into a plane of non-existence, just dragging him into, like, how do you just throw somebody in a plane of non-existence? Goes back in time just to look at the beginning of the universe and just admire it. Like, he just do that. Oh, let me just go back in time and just check out how the universe was made because it's cool to look at. Really, Spectre? Literally dumps somebody into the Big Bang. Like, why though? So what if I told you this is all of this stuff I just listed is still him bound? Like, he's not in his prime self. Like, he's still in his restricted state and he's already this powerful. Like, Let's get to his reality warping. Like he can duplicate himself, resist stuff like the lasso of truth. Yeah, even the lasso of truth, he can resist that. Reality warping style. Defeats this thing like Cerberus, like, you know, this mythological creature. It's in Greek mythology, right? The little three-headed dog-ish thingies. He actually got an interaction with DC Zeus, right? The rare times we see even DC Zeus even do anything. He resisted being banished from DC Zeus. Like, yeah, he's not. Y'all ain't ready. Yeah, getting straight up telling Zeus, like, no, you're not. I'm not ready. You're not ready for me. Reality warping gets to insane degrees, like restoring life to Gaia, who is basically the living embodiment of Earth. Yeah, this gets cool. See, here and here. This gets get ridiculous. Just carries a message through 5 universes. Christ on Infinite Earth's event be like, was able to funnel energy to the point he was able to create another Big Bang. Yes, you heard that correctly. It was stated that he has the power to destroy the universe. He does impossible stuff like breaking through the source wall, the wall at the very edge of existence. Yeah, I know, that's crazy. A Spectre that's bound, so powerful, is able to fight on par with Anti-Monitor. Yeah, that's right, Anti-Monitor. A being that literally absorbed like infinite universe. Yeah, it's crazy. Remember the great evil beast I told you about earlier? The present is supposed to be like the actual DC god, right? The great evil beast is literally one of the aspects of the presence, but is the darkness equal to the presence's light? Like, yeah, the great evil beast is that powerful, and Spectre fought this same being. Yeah, high tier. It's capable of destroying all creation. Yeah, it's that bad. Dr. Fate, a being I did a feat run on, considers him in high regard, considers him the most powerful being in the cosmos, even in this state that's weakened. Oh, by the way, when he was with his class with the great evil beast, he actually got weakened for a little bit and got demoted. Oh, by the way, the implications of his power are limitless. Oh, yeah, back to the Great Evil Beast thing. Yeah, he got demoted in power after his class with the Great Evil Beast. That powerful monstrosity, the darkness equal to the presence's light. But even then, he can still do cool stuff like animate a gargoyle. Yeah. Can still enter dead bodies. Can still turn invisible. Can still absorb the power of 1,000,000 souls. Can cross over into the afterlife. I guess that's the benefit about being an aspect of God's vengeance. You can actually go to and from heaven, right? That's cool. Can literally rip someone's soul from their body. Now, I would like to go over some statements of power for Spectre. Yeah, he has some statements of power, accolades. Not that I have to tell you this stuff. He already has defeat with Superman showing that. But in the fight with the Great Evil Beast, he's fighting concepts beyond space and time. There's only one of him in the multiverse, but I'll give you some statements of power. Oh, by the way, his hypnotic abilities. His magic is so crazy that even at times Dr. Fate, supposedly supposed to be the greatest sorcerer, seems insignificant in comparison. Literally turns a guy into Saul. Okay, I know I'm getting off track. I'm about to get to the accolades and the statements about his power now. Don't worry. John Constantine. Yeah, of course, John Constantine would know who he is, right? He's into that divinity stuff. He notes that he's the most powerful thing in the universe. Superman level beings like Martian Manhunter consider his power limitless. This is saying a lot from Martian Manhunter. Martian Manhunter is the same being that was cocky enough to say he felt like he was stronger than Superman, but he didn't dare say nothing like that about the Spectre, though. I showed this already, but stated to be the most powerful being in the cosmos, just to nail it in the head. His power is evidently, quote unquote, limited by his host's vision, which is a very smart limiter when you think about it, the human host. Supposedly has infinite energy and is stronger than the Phantom Stranger and Dr. Mist. Pre-crisis Superman can't figure out how the Spectre works. Dr. Fate consistently tells you about how powerful he thinks the Spectre is. Over and... Well, there's this thing called the Voice, aka another aspect of God, aka the Presence, says his aura shakes the edges of the multiverse. The multiverse, the infinite... You know what? Or wraps multiverse, same thing, right? DC little guidebook says he's the most powerful being in the universe when he's not being quote-unquote punished. Read this if you like to. Stated to be the most fearsome hero of all time. Not that I have to show you feats like this. Just want to go through some little more strength showings. You know, there's times he was able to hold tectonic plates together. He does this with seemingly relative ease. Literally catches an entire planet. Man, he has some really cool planet type feats. Like he plays with planets like big old balls. And it was moving at faster than light speeds. A planet. He stopped a planet with this much velocity. Math and nerds, calculate this for me, please. So there was this time he was able to hold apart, they say, Earths, right? But evidently the universe will be done if they collided, which I don't see why that would make the universe break. So it must have been like their way of saying holding back the universes together. Earth 1 universe and Earth 2 universe, not the Earth 1 and that's it, right? Does it here, holding about two planets. There's some high stakes in these events. Does it for hours as well. Yeah, this dude's consistently holding planets together. Like he got some universal type stuff going on. Did I mention he was able to immobilize Dr. Fate? Yeah, he's that powerful. Please do me a favor and watch my Dr. Fate feat run I got on my page so you can understand why these kind of feats are so impressive. Okay, right. So when he's not bound anymore, like his true Spectre self, the one you don't want to freaking mess with, Like, he's already overpowered beforehand. The one that you saw Superman bounce off of was a restricted Spectre. This is unrestricted. So Superman is supposed to be invulnerable to cold, right? Superman punches Spectre. He actually feels extreme cold. This is ridiculous. This could be to Spectre's magical nature or just being divinity to where it breaks physics to all degrees. He just kind of destroys this character known as Etrigan, a being that kind of gives Superman characters trouble from time to time. God, dog, he really messed him up. Like, this is actually kind of sad. Please remember that Etrigan can fight powerhouse Superman level beings like Lobo. Yeah, that's right. Lobo fights him. Yeah, Etrigan and Lobo. Etrigan has even fought Superman and sent him flying. He reacted to his blitz as well. Yet Unbound Spectre just bullied him. It was actually pretty pathetic. You know Captain Marvel? Yeah, he actually fought Captain Marvel. Oh, snap. Captain Marvel trying to go to work on Spectre, ain't he? Psych. You thought, yeah, he tried. Yeah, you tried Captain Marvel. Billy, you're not ready for the real Spectre. Yo, Billy, I love you, man, but you got to stop trying to fight Spectre, man. This is the true Spectre. You couldn't even beat him bound, man. I mean, you couldn't even beat him bound. This is him unbound. Please stop. So there was this magical being known as, the guy that bestowed Captain Marvel, aka Billy Batson, his power, the Shazam Wizard. That's right. He actually fought the Spectre. Evidently, the Shazam Wizard is actually pretty freaking powerful. In magical battle, they kind of go at it. Had prep time in this. Battle is very extended, but in the end, seems like Spectre just regenerates over and over again, blasts him back, overpowers him, just goes to work on everything. Like, yeah. He turns Phantom Stranger into an actual mouse. The beings that be bossing around Dr. Fate, right? So Spectre is so powerful, he was able to kill the Lords of Chaos. Yeah, you heard that correctly. It's crazy. And the Lords of Order, by the way. So there was this fifth dimensional imp. He was able to turn him into a pen. Yeah, he's just on some other stuff. Like being able to even erase characters like Martian Manhunter's vision. A guy that's supposed to be the king of telepathy, right? I said this earlier, but I think he does this to this poor dragon. Yeah, just abusing things. He like destroys Hell Lords on a consistent basis. There's a time he was able to summon fire just to torture Martian Manhunter. Spectre, stop being a butthole. I already told you he can grow big. There was a time he grew so big to where the universe was like a spark in his eye. Yeah, he got that freaking big. Yeah. While he was guarding Hell. Yeah, he has some ridiculous tasks. Dr. Fates also states here, I said this earlier, but he also states that he'll never faced somebody so strong. Not even Naboo. Naboo. I advise you to please watch my Dr. Fate video. All this stuff seems that much more impressive. I want to go over those in this video, but this video would be super mega long if I did. I don't know why I like feats like this, but there's a time he was able to grow to the size of a solar system. I just like these large and small feats, like him just growing to the size of the universe, growing to the size of the solar system, growing to the size of planets, growing to the size bigger than planets. I just love those type of feats. He has magical abilities to the point where he can just kind of make people confess stuff they're trying to keep secret. I don't even know how you do this, but he was evidently able to read the Justice League's souls. Yeah, I guess he can feel if they're good people or not. Of course, he can't be somebody that's powerful without time manipulation, right? Of course, he has time manipulation. I just love fun feats. There was this time him and the Living Tribunal was able to create the Amalgam universe, where it's like the Marvel and DC heroes are kind of fused together, like that weird universe. The Amalgam universe, like a fusion characters between Dr. Fate and Dr. Strange, Super Spider-Boy, Super Captain Man, Superman and Captain America put together, Wolverine and Batman put together, like the Amalgamverse. This is the type of stuff that makes you think DC and Marvel are in one megaverse or whatever, or one omniverse. You Storm and Wonder Woman put together. It's the stuff like this, right? Yeah, this could kind of create, Marvel and DC being canon. Who knows? All I know is that in recent comics, they've been hinting at Marvel and DC having another crossover again, but that's none of my business, though. Dude has fought some of the most powerful beings in the multiverse. Like, even characters like Michael. Yeah, that's crazy. I remember I showed you a scan of him fighting Flash earlier. By the way, this Flash was actually amped during the pre-crisis days. He actually kicked him away, overpowering the ridiculously amped Speedster at the time. Like it stated here, Spectral Scarlet Speedster. You're probably thinking, holy crap, this guy sounds invincible. Well, if I'm being honest, he can be overpowered by a very select few people, especially when he's like in his unrestricted state. There's only a few people that can really fight him, or those are like them angelic beings, like Lucifer Morningstar level beings, like the Presence, Michael, and etc. Right? Yeah, he's actually fought an angels like Michael before. Yeah, he fights a divine being on this freaking level. But yeah, he did lose though. There is nothing wrong with losing to this character. This guy is actually equal to Lucifer Morningstar himself. So yeah, the fact he's even able to trade more than one blow with him should already give him a feat in itself. So yeah. His only weaknesses are things like he's weak without his host. Weak to objects like the Spirit of Destiny, which have Christ's blood in it, so that's self-explanatory. He can even warp elder gods' existence. That's pretty freaking broken. Well, cool, the Justice Society. Hey, how y'all doing? I'm Spectre, the overpowered being that doesn't need y'all's help. He's actually weak to this thing called the Ring of Life, which is a part of this president's power. So that's, like, again, self-explanatory, right? Oh my gosh, y'all. But how strong is the Spectre after all of this? This guy's a ton of feats, pretty much every power you can think of. There's more pictures I can show, but it's like literally little light stuff like controlling the energy in the air and turning people into stone. He can do all that stuff. I'm just not going to show all that stuff off because it's going to get crazy long. Thanks to being an actual abstract being, he's an abstract existence. So he has abstract existence. He's an aspect of the presence, so he can't truly be killed for good. And like you would have to kind of get rid of the presence, which isn't going to happen. If you can't tell by now, he isn't truly a physical being. The crazy thing is about the Spectre, like I explained in my Darkseid video, unlike Darkseid, he doesn't have the limitations of being too big or too small to fit in our universe. Like, he can have holy power and still isn't limited by joining in our universe. Like, okay, you're probably like, what? The difference between Spectre and Darkseid is that Darkseid, his true form exists right here outside of space and time because it's too big to fit in this three-dimensional space. So this Darkseid has to make little baby versions of himself that's even small enough to fit in this three-dimensional space, right? But Spectre does not have this limitation. He can jump in and out the universe and not destroy the universe if he wishes because he's that close to God, because even Spectre exists in a higher sphere than this, like, right? This is a multiversal sphere that the Darkseid's true self resides, but Spectre even exists farther outside that realm than even that, right? But he can just jump in the universe and not destroy it. He doesn't have that limitation like Darkseid does, like the new gods and stuff. His only weakness being stuff like he needs his host and things like that. But whew, this dude is a beast. He can even do crazy stuff like removing all the hellfire from hell. He's able to battle 0 Hour Parallax, a being that was stated to have a destruction capable of similar to the level of Christ on Infinite Earth's event. Yeah, and this is evidently him weakened. Crazy, right? I showed you earlier how he was able to completely overpower a fifth-dimensional imp that should be comparable to Mixie. By breaking the constraints of his individual identity, he's able to become his true full-powered self. He is merged with the void beyond voids, and he's directly connected to the oversoul itself. This is where it gets confusing. Like, okay, yeah. In layman terms, he is at least comparable to Living Tribunal or higher. The Living Tribunal of Marvel, like, yeah. Oh, with that being said, what do you mean? What I mean by that, right? In layman's terms, even characters like Nabu, Dr. Fate are nothing in compared to Spectre, even in his weakened state, but full power, yeah, they're like complete jokes. Even in his unrestricted state, he's like, even Dr. Fate considers him his superior, like I showed in this video numerous times. Darkseid doesn't even stand a chance with him. Like, it's like one of those characters. He's up there with them angels. Like, you shouldn't even put Spectre in debates with your favorite heroes. Like, don't even put him in debates with, like, Galactus, or unless, it's like Lifebringer Galactus. Maybe. Or something, true self Darkseid still ain't ready for Spectre at his absolute max. Like, he has moments in time with Spectre he probably could fight, like maybe a weakened Spectre, Jim Corrigan, limited by the host and type of stuff, and you want to look at it like that, it gets a little confusing. But like, yeah, more than likely he's gonna be higher than these characters, yeah. Well, guys, I hope I'm not missing anything. I hope I got over all the major things about Spectre. I hope you got some understanding of Spectre. I hope I didn't miss anything. I hope this wasn't too confusing. Well, so basically, in layman's terms, I'm going to try to make this as not complicated as possible. Fate tried to fight him at full power. Dr. Fate would get slapped. Maybe if he was weakened before he became unbound, Fate Nabu can maybe give him a fight, possibly, because he has had fights in the channels with super crazy high magical beings before, right? He has his times where he was on the learning curve levels and stuff like that. It's just that he has his moments. None of our favorite heroes should even be put in a conversation with him. Like, if I'm being honest, like, just leave them out of the conversation. The only reason Antimar was able to fight Spectre is because he wasn't in his unbound state. He was amped, but he wasn't unbound. You see what I'm saying? Spectre, like a lot of people say, well, Spectre had to be amped to fight Antimatter. Well, he was amped, but just because he was amped doesn't mean he wasn't unbound. Unbound would, no. Or his full power self when he became the void of beyond voids would have smacked Antimatter, even with all those universes absorbed. And that's freaking scary to think about. By the way, that version of Spectre back then, we didn't even see that version of Spectre back then, where he became voided beyond voids. So just letting you know all that. But what do you guys think? Post your comments down below. Was this too long? Did you learn something new about Spectre? Did you know he was this powerful? I hope you did. He could just blast away the universe with the flick of his wrist if he wanted to. He's not limited to avatars. like other characters like True Self, Darkseid. If Darkseid was to enter, like his True Self tried to enter the multiverse, he would like collapse the multiverse. Spectre doesn't have that limitation, just like Lucifer, Morningstar, and Michael don't. They can enter the multiverse in and out with, you know, no limitation without breaking nothing. Like they don't have no collateral damage issues. They have that control over their body. They're up there with the big leagues. Like no other pantheon of gods fight the biblical versions of the gods the way DC portrays their biblical gods. That's just how it is. But post your comments down below. Let me know what you all think. Is there something I missed? Is there something I misinterpreted? Is there something you didn't know that I need to clarify on? You got any questions about this video? Because I know I went over a lot of stuff. He had a lot of high-end feats. But make sure you post your comments down below. Let me know what you all think. Thanks. I check out the description below for stuff similar to this. I do a lot of videos like this. This isn't just my only video like this, but I want to see you again. I will look for you if you're not back again after this video. I'm just playing. But make sure you check out the description below for affiliate links and things like that. But I will see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed. Do not disrespect the aspect of God's vengeance, the Spectre. Unbound, bound, it don't matter. He's ridiculously powerful. Even bound, he's still above your favorite hero. So don't try to say, oh, Superman can fight him, Hulk can fight him in his bound state. Nah, bro. Like, we just leave him out of the conversation. He's too much. But I'll see you guys later. Enough rambling. This is probably the powerfulest being I've ever covered on my page so far. I'll see you guys next time.